Hello everyone. Today's chapter is chapter 41. We'll talk more about the Tao Te Ching again. Why your biggest success might look like a total failure. The Tao's secret code. This book. So this chapter 41 is basically so-called testing chapter. It describes how different people react to this truth, the Tao, and explains that the highest path often looks like the exact opposite of what society expects. Let me explain. So there is a quote in Lao Tzu that says, when the wise student hears the Tao, they practice it diligently. When the average student hears of the Tao, they are skeptical. And when the foolish student hears of the Tao, they laugh out loud. LOL, right? So if they didn't laugh, it wouldn't be the Tao. How extraordinary. So what is the meaning of the paradox of progress? So there are several things hidden in this chapter. So let me explain. So one of the bright paths seems to be dim. So real progress doesn't always have fireworks like, wow, we're going to celebrate, right? So the second one is the going forward seems like a retreat. So sometimes you have to step back to leap ahead. You know, most of the people always say, look at the big picture, right? And also the great talent matures slowly. So what does it mean is that mastery takes time. Everything you want to master always takes time. And there are no overnight success, or what we always say, the miracles of overnight, miracle, etc. So it doesn't exist. So how to apply this chapter 41 in a company sense? So number one, managing quiet innovation. For example, when you see the situation where a team member proposes a subtle process change that doesn't sound disruptive to you or flashy, then maybe it might be something important. Why is that? Because true efficiency often looks like boring. So a fix that prevents a crisis is less visible than a hero who puts out a fire that should have never been started, right? So what can you do as a leader? So if you are a leader, what you can do is look for the dim paths, the quiet movements that create long-term stability, rather than just rewarding the people with the loudest voice, the flashy ones, right? So another example is a strategic patience. Great talent matures slowly. Let me explain. So a new product or a new hire isn't showing unicorn growth in the first, let's say, in the first month, right? So in chapter 41, what it reminds us, the Tao Te Ching, is that the greatest vessel is the last to be finished. So don't pivot your strategy quickly every 2 weeks or something, right? So if the foundation is solid, trust the slow maturation process. Remember the hare and the turtle story. So don't be foolish because, whoever laughs at the slow start, it might be the greatest success in the making. So how to apply that in a personal sense then? So most of the people also ask, yeah, but I want to apply this book in a daily life, which is possible. How to do that? An example is handling social judgment, the foolish that laugh, right? So let's give you a situation. You decide to quit a high-paying, stressful job to pursue a craft, or you start a weird new wellness habit like meditation or digital fasting, right? So your friends laugh at you or call it a waste of time, blah, blah, blah. But Lao Tzu basically says that if people aren't laughing at your path, it's probably a common one. Wow. It's probably a mediocre path. That's why when you want to do something else differently than having a job, then people will always criticize you and say, why you don't go back to have a job, it looks so foolish. Then people are laughing at you, which is good. Because you have to be careful about the noise and the signal. Because if you go through the signals, then you know that these are the things that you are creating something extraordinary. So use their laughter as a compass. If you are doing something that feels right for your soul, but looks backwards to the crowd, for example, the majority of people, your friends, family is the hardest one. You are likely following the chapter 41, which is the high Tao, the Tao Te Ching, right? So the retreat is to move forward. So all in all, in this example, I'll give you one more example if you want to. Let's say you feel stuck in your fitness journey or in a relationship. So you decide to take a break or lower the intensity. The application is what you can do is the path forward seems like a retreat. So what you can do is stop viewing a rest day or a period of reflection as a losing ground. So in the Tao, pulling the arrow back in is the only way to make it fly forward. So embracing a temporary step back is actually the fastest way to your advantage. So all in all, this chapter is a great chapter which I highly recommend you to study. I'm going to read it for you if you don't have this book, which is okay. Because the application is more important than what is written here. When the best student hears about the way, he practices it assiduously. When the average student hears about the way, it seems to him one moment there and gone the next. When the worst student hears about the way, he laughs out loud. If he did not laugh, it would be unworthy of being the way. Hence, in the Qin Yan has it. So basically he says that the way that is bright seems dull. The way that leads forward seems to lead backward. The way that is even seems rough. The highest virtue is like the valley. The sheerest witnesses seems solid. Ample virtue seems defective. Vigorous virtue seems indolent. Plain virtue seems soiled. The great square has no corners. The great vessel takes long to complete. The great note is rare feat in sound. The great image has no shape. The way conceals itself is being shameless. It is the way alone that excels, is bestowing, and in accomplishing. Thank you so much. Let's go to the next chapter.